Bug Country 99.7 and 101.1, today's new country. We are thinking pink all month long with Fred F. Collis and Sons here on Bug Country. And in studio, I have Stacy Sardina-Boisen. How you doing?
Hi, doing good.
And I'm honored to have you in studio because I've obviously gotten the chance to get to know you a little bit over the last couple of years because I've coached your daughters in field hockey, and I'm very excited for you to be here and share your story of being a breast cancer survivor. So as we get into this, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey?
Okay, I am a mom of two girls, wife to Eric. I have been a social worker for the last 32 years, and I was diagnosed November 14th of 2019. Complete surprise. I had already had a full hysterectomy and I was on estrogen replacement. And we think that is what contributed to the breast cancer. So it was a complete surprise to me. Since I was 35 years old, I was going for yearly mammograms. And this was the year I needed a mammogram plus sonogram. And many women know that when you're in that room and they keep scanning the same spot, you know something's up. I was told before I left the office that I was going to have somebody call me and schedule a biopsy, and that's what happened. So a week later, I was told that I did have breast cancer. I then went for an MRI, and then I was told I had 4 tumors in my left breast, and so that was even a bigger surprise. So as you go through, I had other things going on in my life at that time. At the same time, I'm finding out about me. One of my daughters, we're finding out she needed to have double hip surgery because she had ripped labrums due to sports, and my husband needed his heart valve repaired. So we had all this all at once coming out all at once. And then it takes time for anybody who's been in this position to find the right surgical team, to find the right people. So that took me a bit. My surgery was January 28th of 2020. Just so happens to be my daughter's birthday.
Oh.
It was, she was turning 15. So while I was having surgery, both of my daughters had all their friends wear pink at school.
Aww.
I sent pizzas to the school to the school for her birthday, and they all shared in the pizza. So it was very nice. My kids did come and see me after school after my surgery. Throughout this, I stayed very calm, believe it or not. I tell my kids, we're going to take it one hurdle at a time, one at a time. And that's how we dealt with everything, all at the same time. The following week after my surgery, that's when I broke down. I got the call. We found the cancer in your lymph node, which then leads to the conversation, chemotherapy or no chemotherapy. So I had the choice, not much of a choice. So I went with the chemotherapy because I didn't want to think back that I didn't do everything I could in case it did come back. So I started chemotherapy in March. I believe it was March 10th. It was a Tuesday. That following Friday, COVID hit. Everything was shut down.
I was just going to say, I was trying to do the math when you were listing off your days. I was like, wait, COVID's about to come into play here.
Yes. So my first chemotherapy session was on a Tuesday. That Friday, all of a sudden, everything shut down. So I was thankful in the sense that everybody was home with me during that period of time. And I was very thankful of that. after that, I knock on wood, I am clean as of right now. I am cancer free. I still go for my appointments. I'm not sure if anybody talks about this end of it, but what a lot of cancer survivors do have to deal with are the after effects. There are a lot of side effects that happen, and we're still alive, thank God, but there is a quality of life that changes. And that is a week by week change that we continue to flow through.
And so you mentioned obviously you have 2 daughters. So
Yes.
how did they adjust throughout this whole process? Because obviously you guys went through kind of a lot of stuff together.
Yes.
And you have that support system with you, alongside you the whole entire time. So how did they adjust? Because they're adjusting just alongside you as well.
They were very supportive of me. When I came home after having the double mastectomy, they were right by my side. They saw things that you never want to have your 15 and 16-year-old have to see. At one point, they would have to actually button my top because you can't move your arms for quite a long time. 2 weeks after my double mastectomy, I was driving my oldest daughter, and we got into a major accident. We got hit from behind, and my vehicle got rammed into another vehicle and then a guardrail on 840. And that was scary for me and my oldest daughter. And again, thankfully, my side airbag went off and not my front. I don't even want to think about it if my front airbag went off, but my car was totaled and other things. And my daughter was not rushed, but by ambulance went to the hospital to make sure that she was okay. But I think there's a closeness, especially with my daughters. They're very supportive with anything that has to do with raising money for breast cancer research.
And so obviously we do a lot of stuff with our program over at New Hartford Field Hockey, and you are one of the main people who get things going for that. So I have to say I appreciate you for doing all that you do. And if people ever need ideas, they can hit you up because you come up with brilliant ones.
And you know what? A lot of the ideas came while you're sitting home and not doing much, and you want to make a difference. That's what, if anything, to come out of this, I wanted to continue to make a difference, and I wanted my girls to see that we continue to help others.
Awesome. And they definitely do see it, and I see it because I see everything that you do. And I guess I could say, what kind of advice do you have for maybe somebody my age or even your daughter's age as we are getting older and maybe looking into, because you said you were just going for normal checkups pretty much.
I was going for normal checkups. I started when I was 35 because by self-examination, I did find a lump. Back when I was 35, it was benign. But that's what my advice is. Do your self-checks. Talk to the doctor if you feel absolutely anything that doesn't feel right. And when you're able, don't hesitate. Every year, go for that mammogram.
And if you want to learn more about Stacy's story, you can head on over to all of our social media pages at Bug Country CNY or at bugcountry.com. We are thinking pink all month long with Fred F. Collis and Sons here on Bug Country and making strides against breast cancer. And Stacy, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.